I'm Jim McElroy, and I took the course Writing Poetry, the intermediate course with Helen Ivory in 2019. My route into poetry was not a conventional one at all. You may be interested to know that I did A-level English in 1975, and I set my pen down after the exam, and it went that well that I didn't write again for over 40 years. So So I was coming to poetry not having any background in conventional creative writing degrees or in MAs. I was very much a raw writer, but had a great draw to write. And so the course was the first step for me. I was really just in my first year of writing. I think, Victoria, the fact that the course is online rather than in room has you wondering how that is going to work. So I think that the technological infrastructure of the course is really good. The forum as a shared space for the participants in the course worked really well, allowed you to give and receive feedback on your own poems, but also to build a team spirit with a group of people that you'd never physically met but were able to engage with online. So I think the electronic engagement was surprising to me and very successful. So congratulations to everyone at the National Writing Centre in designing the infrastructure that makes that happen. I thought Helen was inspirational, Victoria, to me. She obviously had a background, a stellar background in writing, having won the Gregory Award at a young age. And I found her to be, her inline feedback to my poems to be always insightful, but also always encouraging. And for a new writer, that is particularly important, that you do get constructive feedback and perhaps an element of criticism, but always couched in a degree of encouragement. The second thing that I thought that was fantastic was the concise nature of Helen's notes. They were always clear, instructive, and not too long. They suited the nature of the course in that you had many modules to deal with, but we weren't confronted with an encyclopedia of reading. It was very concise. And so I've nothing but good things to say about Helen Ivory. And in fact, I've subsequently been in touch with Helen, and I've been a guest at the butchery for one of her readings. So we still keep in contact. I think there are two things. The first is that the reading materials recommended post-course are very helpful. In fact, I just finished reading a book called Strong Words, which was published by Blood Axe. And that book is really the reflections on process by a lot of different writers in poetry, and very helpful. And I picked that book up after having flicked through the notes that Helen had provided at the time of the course. The other thing that I always, when I'm writing an expraxis poem or a sonnet or something narrative, or indeed editing, the various sections of the course that were provided in writing poetry, I still revisit the notes from time to time. So it continues to be part of my writing life. Hopefully I've developed a little bit since then, but it's never wrong to go back to the fundamentals, I think. The course was a platform for me for my rocket ship in poetry. I was very fortunate to be selected for Poetry Ireland Introductions, which is a huge award here in Ireland for emerging poets. That happened just after the course. And secondly, a poem that I'd written in the course called Poor was awarded second prize in the Bridport Award in 2019, the year of the course. That then led me to a number of other awards, which included the Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing. I was very fortunate to receive that, as he is someone that I cherish as a writer. Also the Francis Ledwidge Award for Poetry, and most recently the Mairtín Crawford Award for Poetry, amongst a lot of others shortlistings. And what also I wanted to say about the course was that my chapbook, We Are the Weather, has been recently selected as winner of the International Book and Pamphlet Award. And the opening and closing poems of that chapbook were both written on your course. So they stood the test of time. 3 years later, they appeared and are now published poems by Smith Doorstop, and it's available in all good bookshops now. Hopefully, I'm a little bit more assured in my writing. I was very much, I suppose, a babe in arms, even though I am perhaps a little bit more mature than that in terms of age. But in my writing years, I was very much at the early stage of my writing. So I guess I have a greater level of assurance. But, one thing that you learn in writing poetry is that every time you sit down to write a poem, you've got the white stare of the blank page, I call it. And that never changes. So writing poetry, whilst you do develop a level of assurance, always comes with the continual learning and discovery of writing a new poem. So whilst I do have a level of, I suppose, confidence about my ability to write a poem now, I'm always very aware that I'm equally capable of writing an unsuccessful poem as I am one successful, but I guess that's part of the hard yards of writing. Now that my chapbook has won the International Book and Pamphlet Award and has been published by Smith Doorstop, I think the next logical step for me is to complete the first manuscript for first collection. So I expect that to have been written by the early part of next year, and then hopefully I'll begin my journey of many more collections if God spares me. And I continue to keep learning and developing. I think that you're never finished as a writer, whether it be poetry or whatever other form of writing you make. You continually have to be humble. And whilst it's been lovely to receive the accolades that I have, I think it was Paul Muldoon who said that poets who start to believe their own hype disimprove with age. And so I keep that at the back of my head all the time. And so I keep the head down, keep writing, and hopefully have some more successes.